Hello, and welcome to Climate Agents, Agents of Change. I'm Karen Jeffers-Tracy. I am a librarian and a climate educator. This is my podcast where I talk to normal, regular people who aren't experts about what they think about climate change and why. I don't really think debate arrives at truth. So I don't engage in debate. I ask questions and I ask permission to give extra information if there are things that they're confused about. I do find that some things that people don't know about climate science influence what they think about climate change and what they think should be done about it. This episode, I'm going to show one 6-minute video from a Pecha Kucha Talk that I did in Dayton, Ohio. And then I'm going to show a 4-minute video from another presentation for UpDayton Project Incubator I did in Dayton, Ohio. So this is Pecha Kucha, which is key concepts of climate science that most people don't know. If you're familiar with Pecha Kucha, you have to advance every 20 seconds into another slide. So it's 6 minutes total, 20 slides, 20 seconds each. And so it was probably one of the hardest presentations I've ever done. And they did take off the intro, so I'll tell the intro now, which is basically I listened to 200 people about what they thought and about climate change. And I listened to what they knew and didn't know about climate science. And I took those concepts and put them into this Pecha Kucha Talk to go through what it would really help them to know. It would help inform their opinions somewhat. So here we go. Let's see. I'm going to switch it over here. This is you should be able to hear it too.
And I am intensely interested in
Wait, I'll start it over. Whoops. Okay.
In what people think about climate. So I listened to these people to find out what they knew and don't know, because our knowledge shapes our opinions. I found key concepts that most people don't understand, which makes them vulnerable to misunderstanding the science. Foremost among that was the carbon cycle. They kind of remembered it from high school, but they would often explain the water cycle to me. So carbon moves through our environment, and people would say, we exhale it, trees love it, carbon is in all living things. Why is something as natural as carbon dioxide a problem at all? Well, get this. A big bunch of the carbon in the Earth's natural carbon cycle was locked away, taken out of circulation long before humans ever existed. Now, this big bowl of coal dust, actually from Carriage Hill Forge, think of it as all the carbon on Earth since the Earth began. And a tremendous lot of it ended up underground as oil, coal, fossil fuels, out of circulation. That made the planet hospitable for human life. So the container in the middle is the human carbon cycle, the carbon that's been in cycle since humans were on the planet. And we've been scooping up from the bowl and adding it to our carbon cycle from Earth's locked stores and putting it back into circulation. The result? Too much is too much. This extra carbon dioxide changes the mixture of gases in our atmosphere. How much extra from the burning of fossil fuels do we put up there? Last year it was 30 billion tons, 30 gigatons. Okay, next fun fact. Carbon dioxide molecule itself traps heat. It's the loose bonds between the atoms in the molecule that vibrate 3 directions, making it uniquely efficient at absorbing and trapping heat. The result, The excess carbon dioxide we're putting up in the atmosphere acts just like the glass in your car. It allows energy in the form of light to come through, but the heat energy that radiates back up, it traps. Overheating makes things melt. This plastic tray on the dashboard of my car and our planet's ice caps. We made this last winter. People often think the mere presence of ice and snow means that everything's fine with our planetary systems. Unfortunately, that's not so. So start to remember your high school science now. Think isotopes. Isotopes are different forms of the same kind of atom. Isotopes from the burning of fossil fuels are identifiable and different from those which come from volcanoes or burning forests or any other source. That's how we know it's us. This is information that's really relevant to people making decisions, don't you think? But nobody knows it. They were highly suspicious of made-up climate models. In reality, climate models combine vast amounts of data collected on and above our planet from multiple collection sites. Computer simulations are essential when something is too deadly to try it out on people, which is the case with our planet's climate. I asked people about climate and they told me about pollution. So sorry, this is what an ailing climate system looks like. Carbon dioxide is invisible. Parts per million. This is a measure of the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. But in reality, it's a measure of the health of our Earth's ability to support human life. Let's personalize parts per million. This is my mother, my daughter, and my granddaughter. My mother's grandfather, who lived into my lifetime, was the last generation in human history ever to live under 350 parts per million. When I was born in 1958, atmospheric parts per million was 310. Remember that since the dawn of humans, it's been under 300. This is my daughter. She's around 30 now. When she was a baby, an important milestone hit. 1990 saw 350 parts per million. Now, higher than 350, and planetary systems begin to break down. That's why 350 is known as the highest safe limit of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. Fossil fuel use accelerated. When my granddaughter was 6, we hit 400 parts per million. Only 3 years later, today, we stand at 410. This is unfolding now, during our lifetimes, on our watch. Changes that would normally take 1,000 years. So people needed a vision of solutions in stages. For example, my generation's task is to end fossil fuel emissions. These young scientists will build on our work and transition to a completely new energy system. Babies born today, their task will be drawdown and cleanup of the planet's atmosphere, and their babies will build on each generation's advances, for that's how science works. Science also needs communicators, so people can understand enough to support positive solutions. You know, Ohio could lead the nation to zero emissions. With our Ohio common sense, our Dayton innovation, and our great heart. It could be like this little wildflower. Your gentle listening climate conversations, spreading unseen, then suddenly blossoming everywhere. I would love to hear from you. It's the greatest challenge of any lifetime. Let's meet it together as the heroes I know you are.
Well, thank you so much for watching my Pecha Kucha Talk. And I hope that it gave you some, I hope that it gave you some things to think about. Did you know all those facts? Were you aware that it's not exactly the isotope, but the ratio of the isotopes in our atmosphere, which prove that it's humans burning fossil fuels that have raised the parts per million of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. So yes, those carbon dioxide isotopes do help to show through the ratio of them that it's human caused what is happening with global warming. There are some other key concepts, and those are all included in my climate literacy certificate course for adult library patrons, which I teach at the Fairborn Community Library the first Tuesday of every month at 6:30. Anyone can join at any time. So these are things that I think would make a difference in what people think if they understood. And it would make people stronger. It will make people more resilient against disinformation. They won't be so vulnerable to disinformation because they'll know the truth, the scientific truth of the physics of our planet and what humans are doing, what impact we're having on the physics of our planet. Let's see why I have feedback going on. I'm new at this. So I think I have time. Yeah, I have another 4 minutes. Good. I have time to show another one. This one also is my you saw my mother and my granddaughter, my daughter in that last one. This one also has my granddaughter in it, and it is a proposal for an event called the Climate Science Roadshow. Now, the Climate Science Roadshow was just about to debut, when everything shut down in our country. So what I've done next with it is take parts of it and use it in my climate education projects. So I focus on hands-on participatory learning as opposed to just showing a lot of graphs and charts and numbers. Some people love graphs and charts, and more power to you, but there are about a third of the human population who are kinesthetic learners. We like to learn through doing and through seeing and through participating. And it's really important that everyone, that citizens, understand enough climate science in order to be able to support positive proposals when they arise. So, and the other thing is a lot of our leaders, our elected officials, our influencers, our politicians, our ministers, those type of people, actors, they are generally in the kinesthetic learning modes. So that's why I think what I offer is somewhat unique. I'd like to show you this example of giving one key concept of climate science called the carbon lag. So here we go. I'm gonna show you what that looks like.
Climate change is absolutely real.
But people don't exactly say, "What do we do tonight? Let's go learn about climate science."
We're changing that.
Hi, I'm Raina, her granddaughter, and I'm CFO, Chief Fun Officer for the Climate Science Roadshow.
She makes sure when we set up our science demonstrations, games, and activities that people of all ages come and enjoy learning about climate science. In listening to over 200 people, I realized they lacked understanding of key concepts of climate science, which shaped their opinion of climate change. And we designed the roadshow around these gaps in knowledge.
For instance, why it's an emergency now.
And we're going to show you that. We're going to send Raina through a 30-year time machine by performing a stadium wave starting over here. Get ready. And you're going to go, whoa, okay, everybody? as she crosses the stage. Now she's 10. Raina, when you get over here, how old will you be? She'll be 40. On your mark, get set, go, wave. Great, thank you. So each year, humans throw 30 billion tons of excess carbon dioxide into the future because carbon dioxide can take 30 years to create warming. So Raina, show us which years are affecting you most at age 40. Our emissions today. And that's why climate is an emergency now, and it's why I've devoted my life to teaching about climate science. And how do we teach? Well, 30% of you just felt alive and learned better through that physical motion. A full third of us in this room are hands-on learners, especially when it comes to scientific or technical information, right? And in the great transition already underway,
We need you, your skills, your voice. It's too important to leave to the scientists, the politicians, and the engineers.
The Roadshow will teach everyone enough science you all can participate in positive solutions for our communities, reducing resistance to the changes we must make. It is the greatest challenge of any generation. Within a year, we plan to bring the Roadshow to community centers,
Colleges
churches,
and schools.
throughout the Dayton area. And
When we roll into your neighborhood, come learn with fun.
please vote for the Climate Science Roadshow. Hands-on climate science,
Empowering all voices to join the conversation.
Oh, that was emotional for me. That was very, so the roadshow still needs support, as I have many different climate projects that I work on. This podcast is my new venture, talking to regular people about what they think about climate change, finally on video. The roadshow, I still do various venues, locations, put on some of it, usually about 5 or 6 of the stations at a time. And my climate literacy course, let's see, there's, and then I have a new venture coming up in the spring, which will be, I think I'll wait to tell you about that. It's a neighborhood project, which every neighborhood can duplicate, and it's very exciting. I think I'll have a whole show just about that. So I want to thank you for your attention, and I would like to hear from you. I'm Karen Jeffers-Tracy. This is Climate Agents, Agents of Change, and thank you for joining me today on this new podcast. See you later.